Hello, everybody. This is Debbie. I was supposed to do your live training today in Facebook, and Facebook seems to be shut down all around the world. So I'm recording this call and posting it so you guys do not miss out on your training this week. Last week, we talked about dreams and the importance of writing down dreams. This week, I want to talk about your mindset. Mindset is so important. On the day you're going to work on your dreams, if you have a bad day and you drove down the street and somebody was tailing you, and then you got home and your kids are fighting, and then your dog got in the trash, that probably isn't the best day to sit down and work on your dreams. When you want to work on those is when your mind is in a good place, right? Same with when you want to talk to a customer, when you want to talk to a stylist. You're not going to call a customer on a day that you are in such a crabby mood, you don't want to talk to anybody. It's probably not going to be the best image to give them. Instead, you want to have your mindset in the right place, and you want to be feeling all right, you got it, right? You want to be happy. You want to be in a good place. So I want to talk a little bit about a positive attitude and a positive mindset. You know, being optimistic is portrayed as a foundation for making your life full and happy. You guys, attitude is a choice. You choose to be in a good or bad mood. No matter what the circumstances are leading up to it, you make a choice of how you are going to feel and how you're going to react. So you can choose to look at a glass half empty, or you can choose to look at a glass half full. That's totally up to you. Having a positive attitude, it's not just a slogan for topics, for therapists, for Facebook quotes out there. There are many, many benefits in positive thinking, which influence our health, our confidence, and our relationships with other people. So if you're not naturally a positive thinker as of yet, I want to give you some reasons of why you should start changing your mindset. Number one is positive thinkers cope with stress faster and more effectively. So if an unpleasant situation happens, a positive thinker is going to concentrate on solving the problem rather than thinking that things are spinning out of control. They're actually less subjected to stress because they don't have the habit of concentrating on negative thoughts. So let's say your new stylist calls you because their credit card is getting rejected. The person with a positive mindset is going to have a much clearer mind to be able to help them and give them the steps they need to take. So let's look at a negative mindset. The negative mindset might immediately go to, great, now my stylist is having problems. I bet she's going to quit. I'm going to lose my first stylist. I can't even believe it. And I can't call customer service because I don't even have a customer service number. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. This company has so many problems. Now look how fast that negative mindset spun out of control. A person with a positive mindset is going to acknowledge the person's frustration, but then offer solutions. And they can find those solutions because they're looking at this as one small little issue, not this big, huge catastrophe. So the positive person might take this attitude. Oh my gosh, I understand that's so frustrating. I wish the system were perfect all the time, but it's just not. We're a growing company, and with anything with technology, there's always going to be bumps along the road. But I know some people have had these issues in the past. So let me try and walk through some of the things that those people have done. First, can you check the expiration date on your credit card? Okay, and then if maybe you need to clear the cookies on your computer, or are you going in through, what search engine are you using? Are you using Safari? So you get my point. I've given them multiple solutions because I've taken their problem, and it's a small problem to me. It didn't become a problem this big because my mind wasn't in this negative attitude that was just going to spin something small out of control. So the positive attitude yields much better responses. Number two, why should you have a positive attitude? Better health. It's proven that people who think positively live longer and feel better than people who don't. We all know the effect stress can have on our bodies. Negative emotions can do the same exact thing. When we're stressed out, we have depressed thoughts, we have sleep problems, our muscles can become tense. We become anxious. You could start habits like pulling hair out. You start to feel dissatisfied with everything. After you start getting rid of that and switching it to positive thoughts and getting rid of the destructive thoughts, your body should take on a more relaxed and satisfying feel so you don't have the negative results on your body. Number 3, you have better relationships with people. Think about positive people. Positive and open people give very good first impressions, and they usually have a lot of friends. People usually are attracted to positive thinkers and want to maintain a friendship with that person because they're always in a good mood, or they can spin things in a positive way for you. And I'm not saying this person is positive 100% of the time, but the majority of the time. This is why positive thinkers tend to have a very active social life. First impressions are very important, you guys. Our job at Color Street, it's a relationship business, right? It's going to be much easier to build relationships with customers and stylists if you have a positive attitude. So let's say you're heading to your nail bar and 10 strips are out of stock, right? So you could go there and, you could focus on that. And you can't even make relations and build relations with the people because all you're thinking about, oh my gosh, how am I going to sell them these strips? We don't even have 10 of them. Or you go in and you're greeting the guests and you're chatting with them, and your attitude is that Color Street is the greatest product we have to offer. And you're going back to all the reasons why. It's simple, it's easy, it's cost effective. The business is a great business if you want to try to earn extra money. The simplicity of carrying it into a party. Yeah, we're missing 10 strips, but guess what? I have 55 other ones that I can offer you today. So I'm working on my relationships, and I'm just automatically thinking positive without letting that little side thing on the side ruin all the relationships I could tend to be building within this party. Within minutes, it could go downhill if you had a negative attitude. So even if you're not in the most ideal situation going in, think about all the positives. Your nail bars are a key place to build relationships and to make first impressions. So if your first impression at that nail bar is all about negative things about the company, why are they going to want to call you? Why is their friend going to want to call you for their nail bar? They're not. So any little issue you have going into it, you forget about it because it doesn't matter. They don't know the 10 you don't have. All right? So think positive. So number 4 is a positive way of thought lets you be more focused and concentrated. When you realize that the problem is not the end of the world, you learn to stay focused and face what the problems are, face the issues. You guys, there's no such thing as a nail emergency. Any issues we're having are not life-threatening, okay? So keep that in perspective. So if a customer calls you and says their nails fell off, they put them on, the last set was fine, but this set just didn't stay on. Okay, well, right away, because I think, well, I've worn a whole bunch of them and I know how well they stay on. So I have a pretty positive attitude. I feel bad that this customer ran into this, but I'm going to kind of go through some steps with this customer knowing, to get a little bit more information. So I'm going to ask that customer, can I ask you about your application process? Were your hands clean? Did you use any lotions? Did you use a set before that stayed on? What type was it? Was it glitter? Was it solids? Did you do anything right after? Did you wash your hands after that you could have gotten some water underneath the nails? I would love if you could send me a picture of your nails so I could see exactly how you put it on. Were these nails that you used before and you saved? Because we really only guarantee our nails for one-time use only. So getting to the bottom of it and offering them some different, some concern really by asking all those questions, you're not blowing them off and you're showing them that you're truly concerned and you want to get to the bottom of it. If you can tell that it is not a user error, great. Let's send some pictures to customer service. We can get you a new set ordered. You can tell it's customer error and they probably just didn't put it on right. Well, then that's when you might want to offer a set out of your inventory or give them some tips on better application for the next time. But again, if your mind is not in that right positive mindset, you are not going to be able to offer your customer these solutions. You're not going to be able to concentrate and you're not going to be as focused because your mind is instantly going to the negative. Positive mindset also gives you more confidence. A positive way of thought helps you become more confident. You don't want to pretend and be someone that you aren't, but if you learn to love yourself and be yourself, it definitely boosts your confidence. I'm naturally a positive person. I can get in a rut, sure, but naturally I'm in a good mood. I actually can't stand when I'm in a funk. If I go through a day or two in a funk, I drive myself crazy. I'm crawling out of my skin because I find myself mumbling under my breath. I'm getting upset about things that would never even bother me, but because my mind is not in a good place, all those things little things seem to just irritate me. But when I'm in a good mood, it's really easy for me to blow things off. I have better interactions with people. People tend to want to be around me. People give me great feedback. So, of course, I tend to feel better about myself. So, keeping that positive mindset definitely builds your confidence. Number 6 is that positive thinkers are more successful in life. Positive people tend not to concentrate on their failures, and they see life as an opportunity. They're open to trying new things. So let's say that you go out this week and you decide, I'm going to talk to 2 new people about the business. Well, they're not interested. So are you going to let that get you down? No. You are constantly going to be turned down by people, you guys. It's just the way sales work. You have to talk to about 10 people to get somebody who might be interested. So how many times have you gone into a store where the store clerk said, hi, can I help you? And you say, no, I'm good. Okay, I say that almost every time. Well, so if I talk to someone about my business and they say, no, I'm good, should I take that personally? Because I don't mean it negatively towards the store person who just said it to me. So I shouldn't take it negatively when someone says that to me. Instead, change your mindset and make it into a game for yourself. Look for the no's, because every no you get leads you closer to the yes. So if you keep a positive attitude about the no's, like, oh, okay, well, that was my 3rd no, so I guess I'm only 7 away from getting a yes. You will have better luck. You will come across to the person more positively, and you'll probably find somebody a lot easier than if you go up to them with a negative mindset thinking, well, my last 2 people turned me down, so this person's probably going to turn me down. I don't even know why I'm going to talk to this person. So, hi, would you like to hear about Color Street? It's great. I mean, it's kind of hard, but, you know, and you stumble over your words because you don't have anything to say because your mindset is negative. So if you're going to talk to someone about the business, do it on a day that you're feeling good about yourself and you're in a good mood. My final reason for a positive mindset is positive people have a happier life. The optimistic people usually live happier and a more productive life. Remember the laws of attraction, right? If a person thinks positive, she's going to attract positive events and people in her life. If that person's grateful for everything she has, she's going to get more out of every experience she has. So don't concentrate on the problems. Be optimistic, and your life can change. You'll find things that you're looking for the positives, and your life will change for the better. You've heard the saying, I know it's said a lot in Color Street, your vibe attracts your tribe. Well, who do you want to attract? I know I personally want to attract positive people. I have a really difficult time being around someone who's negative all the time. Misery loves company, right? So if you have somebody that's always looking at the negative side, they want you to look at the negative side because then it makes them feel better. They want company. Don't give into that company. You want to stick around the people who can find the solutions, who have the right attitude, that stay positive about things, that realize there's no nail emergency, that will solve all these problems. They may not be as quick as we want to solve them, but we'll get them solved. Negativity and problems, they personally just drain me. And I know, again, it's something we all have to deal with on a regular basis. I have teenagers. I deal with this stuff every day, let alone with work. But it's how I come through and how I respond that I know affects me in my life. So I know all this sounds great, and I know that everybody would love to think positive, but I know it's not natural for everybody to think that way. I know some people just have a disposition that they have to force themselves to look at it that way. Maybe you're stuck in a rut where you've just felt negative a lot lately. So have no fear. We're going to talk about that next. Let's talk about how we can change your mindset to a positive one. So the keys to changing your mindset are consistency, creativity, and determination. You need consistency in practicing this every day. Creativity, which contributes to your flexibility and adaptability in your daily routines, and determination is what gets you through to your end goal. All right, so I'm going to give you some tips on how to implement positive thinking into your life to help you increase your productivity and your mind and everything about you. Number one, I want you to work on, and I want you to write these down, list 3 things you're thankful for before even opening your eyes. These days, I would guarantee, I would probably say over 50% of people do the same thing when they wake up, which is grab their phone and start scrolling through social media. We know that one of the key times of looking is 7 a.m., which is probably around the time a lot of people are waking up. Well, let's think about social media. Social media can be a wonderful, wonderful thing, but with it also comes a lot of anxiety and stress. So I'm looking through there and I already kind of, I'm thinking, okay, today I'm going to wake up in a good mood. Well, now I see Susie, who's on vacation. Well, I see Betsy, who just got to go on a date. I see Jennifer and her 4 happy kids and a great, perfect, what looks like a great marriage. I start comparing myself, right? So now I wake up and I start looking at all the things that I feel inadequate in before I've even put my feet on the ground of my bedroom. So instead of looking at that phone, keep your eyes closed, or if you want to open them and write them down, you could do either way. I want you to think of 3 positive things that you are thankful for before you even start your day. This way, you're starting your day off with joy, contentment, and peacefulness instead of what everybody else is doing. So if social media, if 7 o'clock is your posting time, because I know we're all building our social media following and whatever, then maybe you need to schedule those 7 o'clock posts. So you're not looking at that phone right away, but you know your post is getting out there. So I challenge you to do that. And a double challenge on top of that would be to not even grab your phone until after you've had breakfast. So get through that good part of your morning, get your kids off to school. If you have kids, lunch is packed, eat your breakfast. And now if that's where the time you want to take to go look at your phone, then do it. Meditating is another one that can also help you when you're laying there in bed too, to just something to get your mind off of the phone and that right away and putting yourself in a positive place. Number 2, so we talk about mornings because how you set your morning sets your tone for the rest of the day. Have you ever woke up late, panicked, and you felt like that nothing is good is going to happen the rest of the day? Oh my gosh, I'm already late. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's going to be a terrible day. Oh my gosh, if you're already thinking that, you're likely to follow that because you've already told yourself in your mind that it's going to be a bad day. That's a very pessimistic way to look at it. So instead of letting this dominate you, if a little thing goes wrong, start your day with positive affirmations. Talk to yourself in the mirror, even if you feel silly. Let's say you get up, trust me, I'm very much a morning person. I wake up happy. Then I go out and my kids, now that they're teenagers, are not morning people anymore. And I have to just keep putting a smile on my face as I'm making their lunch, or maybe I'm making them a smoothie and they're grunting at me because I have let it ruin my morning. And then I think I'm not going to let them take my day away from me because of the mindset that they're in. They're not doing it to be mean to me. It's just the stage they are in their life. And I've had to accept that. And so I just make a joke about it and I chase them around the house and try to give them kisses out the door and whatever. And I know that I'm not going to get anything back for it. But I've had to tell myself that. Something else you could do is talk in the mirror. Look at yourself straight in the mirror. Today's going to be a good day. Today is going to be an awesome day. My parents got divorced when I was in middle school, high school, and my mom's self-esteem went to like nothing. And I remember how she told me it took everything she could, but every day she would look at herself in the mirror and say, I'm pretty, I'm a good person, I'm strong, I'm independent. And she said eventually, after saying it over and over and over, she started to believe it. And it started changing who she was as this newly single mom. So it really does make a difference. I just finished a mindset training course where we were given the assignment, which is another one you could do, which was smiling at yourself for 1 minute in the mirror. So of course, the first time I did it, I look in the mirror and I'm smiling, and eventually you're like just staring at yourself. Then I start picking out all my wrinkles and all my faults. And I thought, this is not what this is supposed to be about. So then I start laughing at myself. But it is a pretty funny thing when you just sit and look at yourself smiling. You can't help but laugh. So if that's what it takes every morning, is to smile at yourself in the mirror for 60 seconds, then I would love for you to try that as well. Okay, number 3, focus on good things. I don't care how small they are. I want you to focus on the small things. Almost inevitably, you're going to encounter obstacles throughout your day. It's impossible not to. There's no such thing as a perfect day. But when you encounter such challenges, like what do you do? Do you focus on the benefits of what could come out of it, or the negatives of what's going to happen because of it? So, for example, you get stuck in traffic. Well, there's a lot of traffic around where I am, depending what time you leave. So if I get stuck in traffic, I can handle it 2 ways and get cranky and angry that I have to be in the car all this time. Or now I can think, oh, good, I get a little extra time to listen to the podcast I wanted to listen to. Oh, I get more time for my favorite music. You go to the store and, you're trying to prepare your meals for the week and they're out of the food that you need. Okay, so what do? Do you get negative? I can't even believe Meijer doesn't have this food today. What am I going to do? Or do you think, okay, well, I guess I get to be creative this week and try something totally new, and you come up with a new recipe right then or there. Someone has a nail strip or wants a nail strip and you don't have it. Oh my gosh, what are you going to do? Is it going to be, I can't believe they're out of that either. This is terrible. We're always running out of nails. Or is it, oh my gosh, we have so many other ones. Would you love to see, if you like this one, I think you may also like this, or this one. Or you know what? If you have your heart set on that one, let me look around and see if I can't find that one from one of my fellow stylists. I bet I could trade for one and get that one for you. So how are you going to handle it? Take those small things that could be a negative and put a positive spin on it. As soon as you catch your mind slumping to the negative, you instantly think of a positive. Okay, what can I find good out of this? What can I find good out of this? And sometimes you have to dig deep, but I guarantee you can find something good about it. Number 4 is finding humor in bad situations. We all have heard the expression of laughter is the best medicine, right? So allow yourself to experience humor. Even in the worst moments, you go to and have a nail bar and something bad happens. I think Jackie one time didn't think about nail polish remover, and one of her guests got a big nail polish remover circle on the hostess's table. Oh my gosh, we all learned from that event, right? So she could have let it ruin her mood, but you've got to find some humor in things like that. You can take the worst situation and you've got to spin it into something funny, because without humor, my gosh, our world would be pretty sad. So look for something funny and crack a joke. Call the friend that is kind of witty and sarcastic on a day you're having a bad day and say, I just need to hear your voice because I know you'll make me laugh. That's the person you want to call on your bad day. You don't want to call the negative Nelly on your bad day. Turning failures into lessons is number 5. You aren't perfect, you guys. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I haven't met anyone yet. So maybe my kids think they are, but I doubt it. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to experience failure in many ways, at different jobs, with different people. But instead of focusing how you failed, I want you to start looking at how you can turn that failure into a life lesson. You've got to start changing things into life lessons. I can come up with a million things I've done wrong with Color Street from the beginning. And you know what? With everything I do, I come up with something with something that I could have learned from it. I've forgotten to bring my game with me. I've forgotten names of nails. I've forgotten people's names, and I should know their name when I'm talking back and forth with them. Or sometimes I'm just not on my A game at a nail bar. But from each of these, I learn, and I promise once I've done it once, I don't make that mistake again, because now I've been able to change what I've done. But yeah, I will tell you a really funny story. When I first started teaching my CPR classes, I had like 2 training classes. I had to go teach a class by myself, and it was a first aid class, and we had to watch heat cramps, heat stroke, and heat exhaustion. And I was in a room of mechanics who didn't want to watch it. They'd already tried to bribe me to get out of the class and ask if they could take me out to the bar instead of a card, or to get their card instead of sitting through the class. So anyway, the one guy, as I'm watching heat cramps, and they didn't give me a whole lot of training at the beginning. Now, thank God, I know what I'm doing. But he asked me what's the difference between the 3 of those? Do you know what my response was? I will tell you my response. I said, I'm not really sure. I was wondering the same thing myself. Seriously, I promise you, 100% I said it. Well, I promise you I know the difference now, and I will never make that mistake again. One thing I've learned from that job is I often don't know the answers to questions until they're posed. But once I have a question asked, I know the answer. And there's very few questions I don't know anymore. But at the beginning, my whole job was learning by people asking things. So I never made the mistake between heat cramps, heat stroke, and heat exhaustion again. Number 6, transform negative self-talk into positive self-talk. Negative self-talk can creep up so easily, and it's often hard to notice. You might think, I'm so bad at this, I can't do this. Oh my gosh, I can't do this compared to Jenny. I'm such a failure. I'm no good at this. All those things, you start to internalize that. If you say that to yourself enough, you start believing that you're not good enough. So when you catch yourself doing this, instead, I want you to stop and replace those negative messages with positive ones. Instead of I'm so bad at this, I want to hear, you know what? One way I could get better at this is by doing this. Or start writing down your positive attributes. I've been getting much better about my gratitude journal. And with my gratitude journal, we were working on different things each week, like 10 things each day for a week that I felt good about in my business, 10 things each week that I feel good about in my marriage, 10 things, or each day, each week. I did 10 each day for one topic each week, 10 things that I feel really good about that I've done as a parent. So start writing things down like that. Again, the more we have to be our own cheerleaders, right? We have to build ourselves up. We don't want to knock ourselves down. So you've got to learn a new way to think, to master a new way to be. I've gotten caught where I mumble under my breath, because of something going on. And so I've had to learn to flip that and say, nope, stop. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let what other people do bother me, because I can't control what other people do, but I can control how I respond to it. If I respond negatively, I let that person get the best of me. So I'll say to myself, if something like that happens, I can't control what they do. I can only control how I respond. And then I take a breath, maybe a few if needed, and then it helps me move on. So if a customer calls you complaining, instead of mumbling the negatives in your head, oh my gosh, I can't believe they call me to complain. Why does this always happen to me? Sick of dealing with complainers. Replace the negative with a positive. Wow, I'm really glad that they feel comfortable, reaching out to me so I can talk to them. I'm glad that I got to know this person that way. I'm going to try to help them resolve this. And, hopefully then they'll be able to give my name out to somebody because they know that I've worked to try to work with them on their situation. And so I'm building their trust. So look at it that way. Number 7 is focusing on the present. And I mean the present, like right now, not today, not within this hour. I mean, in the exact moment. Let's say you're getting chewed out by your boss at your other job, because I know no boss in Color Street would be doing that to you. But in this exact moment, I want you to think about it. If you're getting yelled at, what could you do? Forget about what they said 5 minutes ago. Think about what could happen later. Look at the exact moment and how can you get yourself out of that exact moment. Most sources of negativity come from something you remember, something from the past, and then they exaggerate what's going on right now. So if your boss is upset with you because you didn't get something done, look at it just as it's right here, right now. Not at everything that maybe has built up in the past, but that exact thing he's talking to you about in that exact moment. Not, well, my gosh, he got mad at me last week, and I remember last year he was upset with me. No, we're looking at right here and right now. And my final thought is for your eighth reason is your eighth thing is, or eighth way to give yourself a positive mindset is find positive friends, mentors, and coworkers. Surround yourself with positive people. Like I said, your vibe attracts your tribe. Well, surround yourself with the people you want to be like. You'll hear positive outlooks. You're going to hear positive stories and affirmations, positive words. And eventually those words and those attitudes start becoming who you are too. If you're hanging out with negative people all the time, you're going to start looking at everything negative. If you hang out with people that talk about people all the time, you're going to start talking about people. But if those people know you're the person that isn't going to do that, or you're the person that isn't going to engage in the negative talk, they're probably not going to say the negative things to you. Again, misery likes company. They want to gripe to the people who are going to gripe with them. Negative people don't want to gripe to the people who are going to give them a positive answer. So eventually, those negative people are either going to change and become positive, or they're not going to be coming around you because they want to think, they want to be around other people who are negative. So surround yourself with positivity. So what I want you to do this week, I challenge you guys to look at yourself in the mirror and be honest. Do you react to things with a positive attitude? I think most people have the opportunity to be positive, but they can get wrapped up in the negative. So what steps will you take to become positive and make this happen? I want you to come up with a plan to change your way of thinking. If you keep a positive attitude all the time, maybe you can think of a way that then you can start getting positivity out to others and being that cheerleader. We all need the friend who keeps our mind happy. I want to give you a quote to leave on here that I liked this quote. Staying positive does not mean things will turn out okay. Rather, it means you will be okay if things don't turn out. I think that's awesome. I loved that quote because just because we're positive doesn't mean everything's always going to be okay. But we're going to be okay because we have a positive attitude, even if it doesn't happen the way we want it to. All right, so I want you guys to come up with your plan, whether you are looking in the mirror, whether you're smiling in the mirror, whether you're writing your gratitudes, whether you're doing that quick turn of making a negative to a positive, whether it's deep breathing if you start to get yourself in that negative attitude. Whatever it is, whatever can help you change, I want you guys to all work on your positive mindset. And I want to see if that makes a difference in your lives. All right? Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.